Prepare yourselves for an evening filled with paranormal, special guests, interviews, haunting stories, creatures of the unknown, and tales that will chill you to the bone. Brought to you by the UPRN Network and Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. Take a walk into the night with Shawn Kelly.
Hey, good evening, everybody. How are we tonight? I'm Shawn Kelly, and this is my show, Into the Night. We are on UPRN Radio 105.3 New Orleans. How is everybody tonight? Please jump into the conversation, leave a comment or whatever. I just want you to sit back, relax, and just enjoy tonight. Nothing serious has happened. I am on vacation, so I am a little bit more relaxed tonight. So it was pretty cool. Well, we had an interesting show on Chase and Prophecy tonight. The second hour. The first hour was pretty cool. We talked about UFOs and stuff like that. I really need to go and do some research on all these different people. Hey, Tommy, how you doing, buddy? Happy birthday to you, buddy. I'm doing great. Couldn't be better. Happy birthday, Tommy Miller. Happy birthday, bud. And so it wasn't bad at all. Then we talked about the Hinsdale House, and I'm just going to recap a little bit of that. So this past Friday, we got to investigate the Hinsdale House, and it is you're welcome, bud. And it's a real well-known place where a lot of paranormal investigators go to. It's in Hinsdale, New York. And it's a small little white house on the bunch property. And the property was fascinating. Very, very beautiful place. I mean, the property was just downright gorgeous, And so that Friday night, we got into investigating it. And it was a very, very small house. A couple of stories, which I think really started all the really paranormal activity, I do believe, in that house, was at one point in time, there was two brothers that lived in that house. And the deal was there was a stagecoach that would go by the house, and these two brothers would either rob them or kill them, and then bury them on the property. So, and there's another thing I want to get into later on in the show, and I would like to have your opinion on it, but that's where it started. Holly, hey Shawn, didn't mean to freak you out by asking the spirit to move the clown. You did. No, Holly, it's okay. I have to tell you guys out there, Holly Brown, don't worry about it, sweetie. But I can go to the most haunted, demonic house and investigate it. Okay, and I can go to places that people wouldn't want to go to. I'm not afraid of it. But you put me in a room full of dolls, I'm talking any doll, all right, or clowns. That's it. That was it. I'm not there. I'm gone. I'm definitely gone. So what Holly was saying was that there was a little rattle that would move. I mean, and it was a clown rattle. That thing creeped me out. Ryan was with me, Ryan O'Shea, and he was filming me upstairs in the second room, upstairs in the bedroom. And then when I found out that was a clown, I said, dude, you got to hide that thing from me, because that's really creepy. It just, clowns and baby dolls, it just creeped me out, So it was a good investigation. And it's I wasn't disappointed. We did get some good evidence, and yes, it's definitely haunted up there. Okay. Um, we got some reactions. Jason, he actually heard a woman's voice in the closet that I was at the beginning of the night talking to a girl by the name of Mary. I mean, there's so many possibilities. Maybe I was talking to Mary. Come to find out, she might be still alive. So could it have been another, drifter spirit, or it could have been the daughter Lauren, her sister Lauren, who passed away literally. But we don't know. But what was really cool about it, I was getting all that activity up there on the K2. If anybody watched uh, the live stream we had, um, we we were getting hits, and then actually talking to a woman, because that's what I thought was a woman there. Now, all right, then Jason picking up that little EVP in the morning, actually hearing a girl's voice. So that kind of solidified the fact that there is a woman spirit in that closet. It had a mirror and it had a chair. And a lot of people have claimed that there was a lot of, that was like one of the big hot spots of the house to go to. And, I like to go in, and I like to go in it first, and because I just want to get it over with, see what's actually happening. And then after that, went downstairs, and we were in the living room, and the K2 meter was going off down there. The REM pod was going on down there. The trip line that was going. So there was a lot of activity. But we have this Jessica. She has this little round ball, okay, and we call it the cat ball because it looks like a little ball that a cat could play with, okay, and it lights up when something touches it, all right, and that ball was going crazy, honest to Pete. And I will tell you this: there were some animal spirits there, dogs, cats. It was crazy. And I remember we had the REM pod on the chair with the little cat ball. And I do believe at one part of the night, at one time, like the REM pod went off and the little cat ball was going. So it was pretty interesting. So I don't know, we live streamed until about 2:30. Then we took a break. And then we went out. I didn't go outside. Jessica, Ryan, and Jason went outside. And they said it was really calm. But when you walk into the woods up there, you walk up, there's like tire things, whatever, steps going up into the forest. And they really didn't get too much, but, it did creep them out. Now, what was really fascinating about up in that area, okay, in the back of the house, they had these steps that you walked up, into the woods. And right in front, it was called, it was a tree with all kinds of trinkets on it. I saw a bow and arrow made out of wood up there. Saw a little casket with black agate in it. There, everything. They call it the offering tree, okay. And how that became the offering tree was that there was a psychic that went there, and she actually was up in the woods, and she caught this like amazing energy there at the tree. And so from that time on, anybody that goes there, they put little trinkets there. And whatever you want to put there as an offering. It's called the offering tree, something like that. But there was a lot of pretty cool stuff on that tree. So everything, the whole night, I mean, good investigating. I mean, we had a good live stream. Ryan did a fantastic, fabulous job on it. And I'm so grateful that he's in our group, and we're going to do more. we're going to do more live streaming because, we're almost there. Jason was live streaming on his page. And Holly, did you watch it? Tommy, did you watch the live? If you did, would you like to share a little bit about what you thought? Do you have any suggestions right now, or any thoughts about it? I'd appreciate it if you'd share it. But so we are definitely going to go back, definitely, and I want to do it again. But here's what I wanted to bring up. Okay, now we've gone to the Bel Air house, okay, and it's in Bel Air, Ohio. And what we usually do is that we spend 2 nights there, okay? And so it was a Friday night. We were there investigating. You missed it, Tom. If you go to the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society page, I'm sure you'll be able to find it and watch the whole live. Or go to Jason's page and get his stream. That's all you got to do is just got to go to the Pittsburgh Paranormal page. So back to the house, the Bel Air house. Friday night we went down there, and it was a happy house. Happy, nothing much going on, stuff like that. Holly says, I watched it, wish you were downstairs at the beginning when Jay was getting all the action. Maybe next time. Yeah, Jay did get a lot of them. Yeah, Jason, he did. But thank you. Maybe the next one around we'll get there. We'll see what happens. But see, Holly, for me, the second floor, when I first walked in the house and I did my walkthrough, I had a lot of more thing going on with being on the second floor first, because I wanted to really see if all the people talking about that hallway that's in the room that had the mirror in it. And it's definitely legit. Definitely. But maybe next time I'll be down there with Jason. But so like I said, back to the Bel Air house. So Friday night we had a happy investigation. Nothing was really going on. The house was really, really happy. The energy of the house. Okay. When I say that, the house was happy. The energy that was inside the house was happy. Now, the next night, Saturday afternoon, I remember we just got done eating, and we got done eating lunch, and all of a sudden, okay, the house started to change. It wasn't happy no more. It got real evil. I hate saying that word. We'll say the house got mean, okay? And you could just feel it in the air. And so we just let it go at that, and Saturday was a rough investigation. We got a lot of stuff, but a lot of unhappy stuff. It really knocked me on my butt. And so we got to the Hinsdale house, and with all the bad things that have happened, the brothers that would kill the stagecoach people and bury their bodies, or the Robin, that's a lot of anger there, first of all. And then you got the one family come move in 74. They perform an exorcism in the house, and it didn't work. The exorcism didn't work. My question to you, Tommy, Holly, and everybody out there is, do you think that with all the negativity stuff that has happened at the Hinsdale house, has happened at the Bel Air house, the house has absorbed all the negativity that happened, all the hurt, all the pain, and that the houses are actually a separate entity themselves? I want to know what you think. Okay. I just want you to see what you think, because I'm looking at that, what happened at the Bel Air house and the change of energy. Then I'm looking at what happened at Hinsdale. You know, this was the house causing all that stuff to happen. Okay. Now, granted, okay, in the house itself, there were spirits, and we were getting, legitimate, responses with it. But do you think it's possible that with the house absorbing all the negative energy, that the house kind of like makes it haunted? Do you know what I mean? Because Ryan brought up a good point at last last show. He said, "Do you know all the people that talked about it? It's not the spirits that want to go. They say they talk about it. We don't want to go back and see the spirits. The house is what we want to go back to the house." I hope you understood what I meant there. We want to go back to the house, and that's the same way with the Bel Air house. We did go down there twice, and the first time wasn't good. I mean, we really didn't get anything. It was the second time that we went. So my theory, my belief is with all the stuff that has happened all through the years there, okay, especially with the exorcism not working, all right, that the house is the one that is really causing all this stuff. Okay, Holly, what do we got here? Well, if an item such as a wooden dresser or anything like that can absorb energy and become haunted per se, then why couldn't a house do the same? That's true. That's true. You're definitely right. Now, I'll try it this way a little bit. Okay, a little scenario. So you go to an antique store, right? And you see those old salt and pepper shakers there on the table. Okay. Now, right. So there could be a spirit, okay? There could be a spirit there that's attached to those. So wherever those salt and pepper shakers go, that spirit's going to go with it. But I went the wrong way on that one. But Holly, you're right. That is true. So when Holly says where that a dresser can absorb energy, of course the house can, definitely. So that was a good point you made there, Holly. So I really believe that the house is the most not the spirits inside it. I think the house is the most haunted thing at Hinsdale. Tommy says, I definitely think it could be. Sometimes you can just feel positive or negative energy when you walk into a room. So why wouldn't it be the same for a whole house? True, buddy. True. Especially, here's the crazy part about that, especially, I was saying about the Bel Air house, okay? We did that Friday night, everything was happy, and then all of a sudden, boom, it changed. So it's like, and then I look at the story of the Amityville Horror House. And I'm sure everybody watched the movie. Okay. And the house is the one that was like really evil, the house itself. So, and that was probably due to all the negativity stuff that happened there. So, who's not to say that the house that you're living in right now, is haunted? Is it the house or is there spirits in your house? So yes, thank you for your confirmation, Holly and Tommy, because I believe that especially at the Hinsdale in the Bel Air house, that the house is definitely haunted. It's like Gettysburg. Okay, you get drawn to Gettysburg. You don't get drawn to Sachs Covered Bridge. You don't get drawn to the battlefield. You get drawn to the word Gettysburg. So yes, that was pretty cool. But all in all, it was a good investigation. Learned a lot, and hopefully, I'll try to get a reservation in for us to do it next year, and try it again. We'll see what happens then. They're very reasonable. The people are really, really, really nice. Um, I couldn't say they were wonderful, but I will tell you what happened at the end. This is this is a true story. Okay, this is true. So everybody left. I was me and Jessica. We were the last ones there. Okay, so I went and turned over my car with the key. Do you prefer mug or bar trooper? I like mug. I like mug. Mug's good, but and birch beer is pretty good too. Birch beach beer, whatever it is. But as I was turning over the car completely died. The battery was dead, and so it was like, you a real one? What gang? You prefer mugs or bar trooper? Oh, okay, that's my buddy. Okay, so it's all right. It's good to see you, pal. Good to see you. But my car wouldn't start. Okay, and I went and I bought one of them battery jumpers, and where you stick it on, and you turn it on, and it's supposed to jump the car. And my battery was reading it was perfectly strong. It was a full charge on my car battery, but it just wouldn't start. And so 3 hours later, a guy in a tow truck comes up, puts these two, I guess it's a real big, powerful battery jumper. It started right up, just like that. Just started right up, and I have never, ever, ever had a problem with it ever again so far. You know, um, but I come to find out from Ryan and Jessica that there are, and it's just not my car that it happened to. There's a lot of people who have investigated that house, right? Always had car problems. Now, the lady who was supposed to let us in, she had car problems, all right? She had a bunch of car problems before she could let us in. So she was running late. So it has to do with something with the cars. And I can just say that mine did not start. I mean, I had my keys in the pocket. I had no lights on, nothing like that. It just was on. Let's see. I had my phone fully charged on me one time. Okay. And did it die when you went? But did it die at the investigation? So that's what happened. And then so I didn't get no sleep. I might have gotten a couple hours of sleep, and just heard something knock on the door, on the wall. Probably a ghost. But so after that, I went over to Erie, PA, and I enjoyed the last 2 days. And the Spirit Stranger Battery. Yeah, Holly, they definitely did. No doubt. No doubt they did. I went over to Erie for the next 2 days, and it was so relaxing. I got to see Presque Lake or Bay, and drove around. And I went to an Irish festival they had there. And there was a church. It was called St. Patrick's. Now, it's been a very, very long time. And I'm sharing this with my audience. I didn't share it with too many people. It's been a very, very long time that I actually went to Mass or actually stepped into a church. I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school for 12 years. And for the longest time, even up to now, as you all know, that I hunt paranormal. I deal with demons. I deal with angels. I deal with the whole paranormal field. And I never made it to church. Okay? Never made it to church. Never stepped into it. In fact, I was so happy when I turned 18 that I didn't have to go. So I went in. Now I'm 60 years old, right? And there was no church service going on. There was the fair going on there. I sat down and I just bawled my eyes out. I cried my eyes out. And I was like, whoa, what's happening here? I just cried. It was like, wow, they're still loving this place, you know? But never have I ever cried like that in my life. And what was really cool about it was like 3,000 pounds of pressure just leaving off my shoulders. You know what I mean? And I was only there for 15 minutes, you know, and any thought that came to my head, you know, I was just looking at the statues, I was looking at the paintings, I was looking at the altar, and I just, you know, thought would come into my head and I'd be crying about it. And, you know, so after the 15 minutes, I got up and left. And it was like a big relief coming off my shoulders, you know, all the stress that I had in my life. Maybe it wasn't, you know, because hunting paranormal, I always cry when I go to church and I don't know why. We need to talk about that one day, Holly. You know, like I said, I think the last time I was in church is when over 30 years ago, that was in the church. And that's when my son made his communion. And no, I'll say over 20 years ago. I was wrong there. I couldn't figure it. It's been a long time. But, you know, and I thought about it. I wanted to speak about it and share to the world what happened to me. And I had nobody to talk to about it. You know, and I said, well, I just got to wait till Tuesday. You know, here's my question. Did I have a spiritual experience? Probably did. Okay. It just felt good. It just felt good to let it go. Is it guilt that I cried about? I don't know. But I know I sat down in that chair and I bawled my eyes out. And what the crazy part about the whole situation was there was nobody in the church at all. You had over 300 people outside and not one person was in church. Not one. Oh, I'm sorry, one woman. But she was like on the other side of the church. And I was like, wow. Was I happy? No, I wasn't happy. But I wasn't sad either. I just felt relieved. And so I walked out and it was like nothing ever happened. But for that 15 minutes, I felt love. I felt no anger. I felt um, that I was a bad person. I didn't feel none of all that. I felt love when I walked in. Holly, maybe that's what's going on is that you feel the love when you go in. I still have a hard time with church, you know, and there's some things that I'm still confused about and about the Bible and stuff like that. So I'm not there. I'm not there. That's true. It could be, but it's like right now I can take it or leave it. You know, it's that simple. You know, but it felt good to go in there. I don't know what prompted me. It was crazy because when I was in Erie that Sunday, I had other things to do. Believe it or not, I was going to go to the casino because there was a casino across the street the from where I stayed at up there, Red Roof Inn. So what I did was I had dinner no, I'm sorry, I had breakfast at Country Buffet. Oh, Golden Corral. It was a good breakfast too. Real good breakfast. And I just typed in my phone. I said, things to do in Erie today. And that's the first thing that popped up. And of course, I'm Irish and I got to go to the Irish Festival. But what drew me to go into that church? It was like I was being pulled, you know? Maybe, you know, I don't question anything no more. I accept it. I mean, I didn't set out after breakfast to go directly to that fair so I could go to church. I didn't. It just happened. Never made it to the casino, but I was so drained. I was so drained from crying, right, that I just went back to the hotel room and I watched the Steeler game, which they need to be. That was a bad game, guys. But so what happened? Was I drawn there? Was I led there? Was I supposed to go there? I believe I was. I believe I had to be there for that situation. And then I came home. And then today, I got some good news. Today, about a month or two ago, I put out on Facebook before a show. I was like, I was getting a truck, and I had a contest. Like, I asked you guys to pick out, the 4 different colors, and the blue won. So today I signed the papers for my truck, and I got Alto blue, which is a very dark blue. It's almost like black. So I was like, that's cool. I was happy. So I'm excited. So now they have to take it. I think it's in Mexico, but they're going to build my truck now. I probably won't see it for about 6 months, but I can guarantee it, buddy. I can guarantee it. I will take a ton of pictures about it and I will post it on the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society page and on my page too. And maybe I'll get my producer Joe to throw up a couple pictures. Tommy says something. Tommy says that sometimes the universe sends messages about what you need. Sounds like it was meant to happen. Thank you, sir. I totally agree with you 100%. And so things are working out okay, you know. We'll see what's going to happen down the road. Just got a text message from DeMarco's restaurant, my friend Jared. Best food in Uniontown. I'm telling you, if you live in Pittsburgh or down Washington, Uniontown, you got to go to DeMarco's Bistro because their food is outstanding. So what Uniontown does every year around Halloween, they have the ghost walk. There's like a couple places. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 places that that are haunted down there. And that Uniontown ain't a big town. It's a small little town. And they hold ghost walks. And it works out great, And I think I'm going on, this would be my 13th year down there doing it, And I enjoy doing it. And what we do is everybody does the walk, and they go to the state theater, to the prison, and a couple other the graveyard. There's a story behind it, and the cemetery. And then DeMarco's is the last stop. And what we do is that we give little mini investigations up on the 3rd floor. At the time, when Uniontown was really, really thriving, DeMarco's of the 3rd floor was a brothel. And so they have the madame who took care of the girls, right? And she's the most dominant spirit there. And she hates men. Then that's the truth. And so what we do is the groups that come in, we take them upstairs, right? And we give them investigations on anyone. So it's pretty cool, I'm hoping that one day that we can go down there and actually film a couple shows, like at the State Theater at DeMarco's, because the State Theater down there, there's a really rich history behind it, and it's definitely haunted down there, Uniontown is definitely haunted. So is Bramsville, PA. Oh my God. You have Nemacolin Castle down there. I remember when we first started PPS, we wanted to get into Mimical, and I went as far as giving them a donation. I'm not going to tell you how much, but it was a decent. I mean, I didn't overly pay for it, but I really wanted to get our team into there. This was back in 2007. Yeah. And I remember the one situation. We were in the little girl's room, in her bedroom. And this is a true story. True, true, true. She was in the living. We were in her bedroom. And all of a sudden, they had this rocking horse. And all of a sudden, the rocking horse decided to go back and forth. There were no wires. There were no trip wires. There was nothing electronic. This horse was going off by itself, right? And then John came up and he said, "Can you go faster?" And by God, the horse went quicker, really fast. So imagine sitting in a room looking at a rocking horse, okay, and someone actually, saying, "If you're here, can you make that move?" And it started moving. And then John came up and said, "Can you make it go faster?" And it went faster. So that was pretty cool. But that was in early 2007, something like that. And back then, we really didn't have the equipment that we did have today, and that was pretty interesting. I love Nemacolin Castle. It's definitely haunted. And you should go down there. It's in Brownsville, but you should go down there around Christmas because they're really, really decorated for Christmas. It's really really beautiful. I like just going down and looking at it on the outside of it because it is gorgeous, So, and then there was a situation. We were on the news, WTAE. And you can catch that on YouTube. Just type in Pittsburgh Paranormal Society, WTAE, Wendy Bell. And she had an experience too. Real. So these are some of the old ones that I had. I remember the old investigations that I first started out with. And I remember our first cemetery that we ever did was called Restland Cemetery. It's up in Monroeville. And so we walk in, we're walking, and all of a sudden my friend Carmen, who started the group with me, took a picture up in the sky, just took a picture. And what we saw on the camera, because it was a digital one, was a orange orb. Okay. Now, Tommy, Holly, and anybody else from Pittsburgh, you all know Eaton Park's Smiley cookies, right? Okay. Well, this one was an orange Smiley cookie, and it had a really, really mean face. I mean, seriously, it was mean, honest to God. I have so many CDs that I have now that one day I'm just going to sit down and look at them all. But that was my very first orb that I caught, The angry smiley face. That is so. Yeah, hey, Carmen, how are you, honey? You remember that? There's my girl right there. Just started the angry smiley face. Yeah, that one. Remember you taking that picture? It's good to see you, hon. Congratulations on your weightlifting and stuff. How's your podcast going? She has an awesome podcast. Could you please type it in? I'm sorry, but I forgot it, Carmen. Can you type it in and show everybody about your podcast? That would be like really, really cool. You can do that. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, when Carmen punches her thing in, in the comments, I highly recommend that you go and listen to her podcast. I'm serious because I was on it at the beginning. It's called, okay, everybody, it's called Fear Embodied. That's FEAR, Fear Embodied. EMBODIED. And it's awesome. It's great. I mean, we're graduating, aren't we, Carmen? It's a very good one. Awesome. So please, Holly, Tommy, please tell your friends. Go see Carmen's going on, on her podcast. What's he saying on it? Yes, it's going well. New episode next week. What day next week, hon? What day is your new episode? So Tommy, Holly, write that name down. Fear Embodied, and please share it with your friends and other people too. You won't be disappointed at all. It's really good. Now Carmen, I'm going to get her on my show another day. But we really did some investigating. We had a lot of fun doing it too. But the biggest one that I remember, it was during the daytime. Me, Carmen, and 3 others, Chris and Devin, and another cat. We went down Blue Mist Road. And then as we get down to the crossroads, there was a path that went to the left. So we decided to follow that path. Now, what was interesting about this path, okay, it wasn't long and it wasn't large enough. Okay, she drops on Tuesday, is what it is. Tuesday night. My night. That's okay. I'll get you on, sweetie. You can run a rerun. I'm just joking. But we made that left hand and went up the path. And it wasn't a path or road for a car. It was a path for a horse and buggy. Okay. And so we walked this path, and all of a sudden there's this house back here. Okay. And the roof fell in on the house. And so they bought, cameras from Rite Aid, and they started taking pictures. So what happened was there was 2 of them that were on the roof, walking on the roof of the house. And they started to take pictures with this Kodak camera. And back at the beginning, when we first started PPS and doing these investigations, we would meet Sunday nights at Eaton Park and share, our evidence that we got. And I was sitting there eating, waiting for them to come in, and boy, they all come running in, like all excited, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? He said, you got to see this, you got to see this, you got to see this, Here they show me the pictures, right? Now, the last 4 pictures on the camera that they took it from, taking a picture of Chris or whoever it was on the roof. There was 2 of them, and they took the pictures. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, of watching my guests, my people, the last 4 pictures, there was nothing on them. There was no pictures. There was nothing on the negatives. Completely black. Remember that, Carn? It was just completely, there was no negative. And that was like so cool. Wait, what's the witch's house? Oh man, I vividly remember that day. Yeah, the witch's house. But you know what? Remember that? Yeah. I mean, Carmen can come on and she can tell you some stories along with me. It would be pretty cool. We got to definitely get her on here. But don't forget, you got Carmen's show. It's called Fear, F-E-A-R, Embodied, E-M-B-O-D-I-E-D. Okay. So that was my experience, okay, over this past week. And it was very interesting. Right now, we have nothing coming up. But, Carmen wrote something. We even have photos on one camera of all the pics before the path, yes. And all the pics after the path joining the rest of the group. But on negatives, none of the pics from that path or house came out. Hey, Carmen, how about coming on my show, buddy? And we can talk about it some more. I appreciate that. If you can, if you want to, that'd be pretty cool. So if everybody who's watching it on the internet, I'll read it again. She says, Carmen says, we even had photos on one camera of all the pics before the path. Oh, cool. And all the pics on the path joined in the rest of the group, but all negatives, none of the pics from that path or house came out. It's so true. Carmen, what are you doing next Tuesday? I'm putting Carmen on the spot. If you want to come on next Tuesday, can you do it? Oh, that would be pretty cool if you could. But we'll see. I'll get a message. Hopefully, we'll get Carmen on next week or the week before. And I know she'd love to. She's a good girl. She's my friend. She really stuck it out with me at the beginning. And she won't admit it, okay? But I'm telling you, if it wasn't for her, okay, really, PPS wouldn't have gotten off. And that's the truth. I think so. Message me. I definitely will, hon. I'll message you tomorrow, okay? Thank you for sharing. And ladies and gentlemen, she can come on. She thinks so. So that means Carmen Ann is going, my friend, who was one of the original members of PPS, will be on with me next week, and we can discuss some more of our old. We'll talk about her podcast, and we'll talk about how it's going and what's she doing now, and then talk about the old investigations that we had whenever we started out. You know, it will definitely be a great show. So we got about 3 more minutes left here. Okay, well, 3.5 minutes. Is there anybody that has any questions at all that, or want to share something that would be more, maybe a question I can answer for you? Is there anything? Holly, sounds like a good show. Oh, Holly, I'm telling you, it's going to be a great show. It really is. It's going to be a funny show too. I mean, it is good. You know, Carmen, that's my girl. She's good. You guys will be really impressed with her. I am. So if I am, you all got to be, no doubt. But okay, 3 minutes, and I want to thank everybody for coming. But before I go, I have to say it. I still have, a lot of depression. I still have a lot of anxiety. Okay. And I need to tell you guys out there, honestly, that even though I might never see you, never meet you, but I do think about you. And I do pray for you. And I send out healing angels for everybody who needs help. Okay? One day, someone might be able to sit down and talk to me. In fact, I think that's what happened at the church, Holly. I think I was, told to go in there, and God sat next to me. Somebody sat next to me. And that's why I bawled my eyes out. There's a lot of people out there who have mental illness that need somebody just to listen to them. Even if you don't listen to them, if they don't talk at all, just be there. I mean, there's plenty of times that I just need a hug, and one day, but I'm giving you all virtual hugs, okay? Everybody on my, that listens to my show and listens to the other show, I'm giving the world one big virtual hug. I hope you all feel that. Okay, most definitely it was God, right, Hall? So again, parents, please, if you can, go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And children, please go to your parents and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, goes a long way. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for being, tuning into my show tonight. Next week, we'll definitely have Carmen Ann on. It's going to be a great show. So on that note, good night, everybody, and happy hunting. Bye-bye.